I'm with you, Darren. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Likewise, the pleasure is all mine. How's your day going aside from, talking about yourself a ton and answering the same questions over and over
Well,
and over
first of all,
again?
you're only the second interview I'm done, so I'm still fairly fresh, I hope, and not repeating myself too much. And since you ask, I'm actually in a ski resort in France, which is where, I mean, you can probably see the chalet-like surroundings behind me. And
Yeah.
so I had a very good day skiing this morning, talking to you this afternoon.
And then this series made in the Canary Islands. So you're kind of a man of the world, I take it.
In many senses, yes, I do tend to travel around a bit. I mean, the show was meant to be shot. We wanted to shoot it in Mexico. Unfortunately, that was proved too difficult for all sorts of reasons, not the
Right.
least of which was the actors' health and safety. So Gran Canaria it was, and a nice place to visit, nearer to the UK as well.
So if you can take some compliments, I'm going to throw some compliments your way,
I
Anthony.
love compliments. Thank you.
Okay, so your career is fascinating where a lot of people are prolific authors never get a series made and you get shows made, but at the same time you have your children's book success and then you have your more murder-oriented show kind of success. Early on, did somebody ever tell you, "Hey, for the children's books you should do it under this name and then the adult stuff this name?" Did somebody advise you to separate the brands?
When I very first started, I wondered if I should change my name entirely because I thought Anthony Horowitz was too many letters. And it's certainly true when I do an autograph signing and I have a long, long line. I regret the fact that there are so many letters in my name. But no, I've never really seen my writing as having different names, different hats. To me, it's all been about the same thing: character, pace, twists, mysteries, surprises, wanting readers to turn the page and viewers to keep watching glued to see what's going to happen next.
So was the goal from the beginning to have the move into television and more series-oriented content?
No, I started working for TV almost as soon as I was published. I was published very young, about the age of 22, 23. My first ever book. And by 30, I was working in television. I got invited into a very, very big British TV show called Robin of Sherwood. Never looked back.
So was this a particularly difficult series to make? I asked that because obviously the script is complex and great, but this isn't your first rodeo when it comes to making a show.
I've done so many murder mysteries for television, and it seems to be what I do most of the time now. It was a difficult show to make because it was very demanding in terms of the production and having the whole thing set in the middle of a jungle, having a very, very powerful plane crash in the first episode, and that having to build a Mexican morgue and an army base to surround the morgue with, and all the other surprises that this show has. I don't know how much of it you've seen yet, but it develops and it develops and it keeps moving. And we were working to a budget, so I think it was a tough show to develop to do. I'm very lucky that Jill Green, my wife, and Eve Gutierrez and Richard Burrow are three producers who I've worked with many times, and they do their magic.
Do you remember the first actor that was attached to the show?
I think the first actor who was attached to it was Eric McCormack, and I remember him very well. Lovely man. I loved meeting him, loved working with him. The great joy of the show was that these were I think I enjoyed creating all these characters, but I also really enjoyed meeting the actors. I really enjoyed meeting the actors who were going to play them, and each time I thought, yes, that's exactly right. Every one of them was exactly how I saw them.
It's also admirable that you have a multinational diverse cast like you do. Was that all along the plan, or is that just an organic thing that happened?
The story concerns an aeroplane going from Guatemala City to Houston. Who is on board? I wanted it to be as mixed and as surprising as possible. So obviously, North Americans, Mexicans at the airbase too. One English photographer in there somewhere, and from all over from as far away from each other, and also in what they're doing for a living. So you got Travis and Lisa who are running a chain of motels and don't get on at all with Carlos, who is a lucha libre wrestler. I
Yeah.
love creating these characters and throwing them at each other because, also, don't forget, in a jungle, nobody really knows who you are. You are who you say you are. There's no way of checking it, and that's also part of the fun. It's watching these characters get under each other's skins.
The last thing I have for you before I let you go, Nine Bodies in a Mexican Morgue is a new thing for us. For you, you're known to have a lot of irons in the fire. Are we allowed to know what's next? Is it a book next, a show you're working on, etc.?
We start shooting Marble Hall Murders in about 3 weeks' time, which is the third in the series starring Leslie Manville as Susan Ryland and Atticus Punt in that, and that starts in just 3 weeks' time. And I finished doing the scripts for that just about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, bonus question, then you're free for me. How do you decompress?
Walk the dog,
And does that dog have a name?
Chase.
Chase the dog. Well,
Chase the
Anthony,
dog.
congrats on the show. Thank you for your time and really looking forward to what's next, whether you're the author or the creator or whatever it is.
Or the cameo. Thank you, Darren. Nice talking to you.
Paltrocast.